Dorothy with Done by Dorothy, and we are here with Mirabella. We're putting our signatures and adding our extra pages. This is part 2. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will get going right away. So we are on our second signature. We've already finished our first. So we do know that in the center we want our envelope. So we're going to go ahead and fold up our envelope and put it in there. And if you've watched part 1, then you know, let's see, I will put a card at the top. You know, the little round circle with a card for part 1 if you haven't seen it. So we've got our envelope in the middle. So let's start with our water here. How do we want to do this? I actually think I'm just going to fold this one in half. Maybe we'll fold the water up. It'll be upside down, but I think it'll be okay. We'll actually just trim this bottom part off, and I'm just going to actually trim around the picture, sort of fussy cut around the picture here to create sort of a decorative edge. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, the page, we're just trying to create sort of that decorative edge to give you that water feel. And that'll cut the wording off where we flipped it upside down. So you won't be able to tell that it was upside down unless you look inside the pocket, and we're not going to look inside the pocket. We even have this little cattail off a little. Well, I'm going to go down to here and cut this little. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right along this cattail over here. To the line. I'm going to fold the line up. Go ahead and sort of tear this off to get it out of my way. I'm going to fold this line up. I'm actually going to cross myself here and cut, which I don't ever do, but I need to see what I'm doing here. Or I could do it this way, I guess. Try to steady right. And then I'm just going to sort of create a weavy, windy edge. Just sort of leading along with that water. And that just sort of evens that out and got rid of that plant that would have been upside down. Okay. Then this side is the oddball one where we cut it out of the book. So again, I'm just going to add that winding water effect sort of to the edge. And when I get to the top, I'm going to go right inside. And again, I'm just going to sort of create that winding edge. Let's curve this over here to a nice little curve. There we go. Go that way. So we've created this cute little pocket that sort of has this wavy, watery edge. I'm going to ink. Again, I'm using Tim Holtz Distress Ink with the Vintage Photo. It just happens to be my choice. And I'm going to ink around the edges here. And that'll sort of take away that white, crisp edge where we cut that. Sort of create, you know, the illusion that it's an old edge that's been there for a while. Again, same thing with all my folds. I always go a little bit below because sometimes that white on the inside will show when you're folding it. Sometimes it doesn't, but there is times that it does. If you know, especially if you're using like art glitter glue or a glue that dries really, really fast. You know, sometimes you're slightly off and once the glue's on there, sometimes the ink doesn't really want to get on there, so I always ink it before I glue it. And see, there's a little bit of that miscut, so it creates a sort of a weird folded edge, so I'm going to come up and cut that again. And you can just trim it as you go, and then once you get that, just go in there and hit it. Hit the back side of this just to reinforce it. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold. And I don't like the lettering being split on one side or the other. That's just my goofy word. So I'll fold it. The pictures don't bother me, but so I'll fold this back in half so I can ink it up if I can fold it straight. There we go. And I'm just going to ink it really heavy because the fold always gets really grungy, it seems like. It catches all the dirt and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Then once I have that, I can flip that over, sort of make sure my bottom's lined up. Then I can go through and ink this side. So, you know, I wanted to use that page. It showed up, was going to be upside down, the wording was, and I don't like the wording. So I just cut it off and flipped it upside down. Yeah, the lily pads are sort of in the wrong direction, but they're lily pads, so it's sort of hard to tell. I mean, if you look at that, I mean, yeah, the flowers are upside down, but it's not as noticeable. Okay, so say we don't like that. What can we do? I'm going to cut this right along the line. Yes, you guys, this is what I do when I'm creating, so I'm going to ink this up along this line. Okay, let me get this out of the way because I don't want to glue on it. We have this little fold automatically from the bottom. Teeny tiny little ledge. So I'm going to come through here on the inside here, right along the edge, and put this teeny tiny little dab of glue. Trying not to glue my other page. So I can glue that down. Sort of glue that down on the inside, just because it sort of evens that edge out. That's sort of folded in there, but it's going to be inside the, it's not going to matter. Then we're going to ink the inside here, and I'm going to ink the bottom about a ½ inch up. Just enough to create sort of an illusion that, you know, that's the old worn out page. Okay. So then, now that I have this edge up here, that sort of adds some more meat to it. So it's not as, and my fold will be in the wrong place, but we will work with that, guys. And I'm going to go along with the bottom edge. Come in right where I inked. I'm not going to worry about if the edges match up or not. I'm not going to worry about my little mark where I folded. come out here and trim this up where it meets the edge. And over here it almost lined up perfectly. It's almost eerie. Okay. Hit the ink if you trimmed it. Okay. So this is going to have the fold there, but you really don't notice it. I'm going to take this and I am going to run just a slight line of glue up. And where I did it, where the pocket was, it'll hide the ink. That'll just sort of secure that down a little bit more. We'll line it up, fold it, burnish it really well. You're not going to see this because it's going to be in the spine. I'm going to come sort of line this up across the bottom. I know, it's a lot to do one little pocket in it. There's a person there going, seriously, she cannot do this? No wonder it takes her so long to do a journal. It actually doesn't. Okay, so then we have that little pocket, and you really don't even notice that that folds there. It sort of adds to the oldness. If you're weird about that, then take the page, don't fold it, just crease it. Take some ink, hit that little line, straight up through there, unfold it, and it's going to look like it was just an older. Now it just looks like it was an old fold in the crease in the book, and you don't even notice it. So let's put this back over here. So we're going to put this here after the long way around. So we've got that page done. Okay, so we've got the envelope. We've got the golden book. Let's do our page here. I'm going to fold this in half. These are pretty simple. Again, just going to darken up the edges. And this one you can do all the sides at once, except for the middle fold, and we'll get that when we fold it. Okay, I'm just going to fold this right down the middle. Then I am just going to round off this little corner, so because I sort of like the rounded corner. Okay. Ink the fold. And again, you don't have to ink the fold, that's just something that, I got glue on my hand, it's just something that's something I do. It's sort of the way that I convert pages over, because I don't want to just put blank little pages in there. So that's ready. I'm going to open this up. Because I am creating a pocket out of it, I'll ink the inside edges of the top, just so it doesn't show through white. You know, that stark, it's not really stark white because it's sort of old, but I like having the darker there. Then I'm just gonna take my art glitter glue, go up the sides. I try to get close to the side, but not so wiggly wiggly. And I'm gonna go up the middle. Then we've got that pocket done, because we want lots of pockets. Okay, we have that. Ooh, this has that green on there. So let's see what we did. It has a design there. Let's do the nature. And this one I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to find the end of nature, and I'm going to leave. Actually, I'm not. I'm actually going to go down here. And see, I didn't want that. I had nasty and nauseous and all those horrid words on it. I'll put it, you know, to use on page. But I like how it had this fitted edge on it. And again, because this is what it is, and I want to make sure that I get those words on there, I'll fold down the middle. Well, sort of try to fold it down the middle. I'll do it this way, so I know I'm getting the words that I want. Yes. I folded the crooked side that I've tore out. And then I was looking for, this is a tear roller I made with the DIY, and I'm just going to use a tear roller on this side because I really don't care about the words over here. That sort of just gives it a different feel. Okay, and I'm just going to ink up right around the edges. And again, I'm not doing this really dark. I'm literally just gliding along the edges. You know what? Let's use the... No, I don't want to use the tear roller across the bottom because I want to keep that. I love these little index tabs over here. So I'm going to go sort of dark around them up onto the page, even. So it draws attention to them. And this is one of the pages, the dictionary pages, that, because there's not a lot of goofy words on it or whatever, I mean, it all has to pretty much do with natural and natural child, naturalness, nature. It does have naughty and nauseous on it, which I don't like, so I'll cover up the bottom. So here at this bottom block, where it says not and naughty, is where, you know, I'll probably put a big word that says nature or something like that to... Or, you know, put a die cut. That sort of thing. Just because I don't want the word nauseous in a journal. Just, nope. So I will just cover that up. And like these, I may cover up with, you know, like sort of collage, paper collage, to cover them up. And then I managed to hold that crooked like that. I'll collage them up and then with like paper or whatever, and maybe put like some coffee dyed paper after on top of the collage, so you have journaling space. So there is our nature. Yeah, I want it this way. Okay, so that's there. And then we have they're going to take a walk. Yes. So I'm going to cut this here. Right. So this is going to go in our journal like this. I'll show you in a minute what I'm going to do with it. And go ahead and ink up all of this because we're going to use every side of this paper. And again, this is the one, if you remember, we pulled from the French book. It comes out to about 8.5 by 11, so it's just like a standard size piece of paper. And turn this over. We'll do this page too. Again, every fold on this one needs done. And every edge. And again, you know, to cover up some of this we don't want, we can gesso, we can collage, acrylic paint, you know, watercolor over top of it, you know, cover it with paper and stamp, you know, using die cuts, using images, postcards, you know, whatever you want to add. Okay, so that's done. So let me find, he's going to take a walk. So I want it like this. Let me ink this side up really well before I, okay. Then what I'm going to do is right now, while I'm doing it, I'm going to find some kind of washi. So like I'm going to use this green. Woohoo, I'm throwing it. Than what it was, maybe not straight, but straighter. Okay. I'm going to put it against, okay, so let me figure out where we're at again. Okay, so this is the walk page that I want. So it's going to go into my journal this way. I want this on the outside. So I folded the top down where the he's going to take a walk part is right here. So it's going to be facing out. Okay, so I'm going to unfold it, lift the small side up, then make sure, yes. So I'm going to flip the small side up. The upper part on the inside, I'm going to put my washi right along that seam, and that's just to strengthen the seam. I want this seam strengthened, right? Because I want to make sure it's going to be able to hold. Okay. And yes, I'm actually doing this in 2 pieces, and you'll see why in a minute. Then I'm going to line it up on the bottom. Take it down the fold. And you could use any kind of color washi. If you don't have washi, you could cut a strip of fabric. If you don't have fabric, you could use just a strip of paper. It's just going to be to strengthen this fold. Okay. Then the same thing in here. I want to make sure that I'm strengthening this, so I'm going to go to the middle line. And I could have done that differently. And I'm going to cut it off, right? Then I'm going to put it on the bottom. And yes, I know this is going to seem weird that I'm doing this because you could do it the other way. But I want to make sure that, well, you'll see maybe a little bit more in a minute when I, okay. Then I'm going to burnish every bit of it. You know, and again, you can use your bone folder, scissors, whatever. Okay. So I have that. So again, I'm going to fold it because you're going to have to refold it. And again, that makes it easier for it to fold because we want that to be easier to fold. And if it lines up okay, this is going to go in the middle. So, you know, it is washi. So if you need to pick it up and straighten it up, you can do that. Mine is off the top here is where mine's. You just have to be careful if you're using an old page or the type of washi you're using because you can weaken it. Now you can, like that piece I just tore off, So I will go through here with a little bit of art glitter glue on both sides. You can, depending on the type of washi you have, whether you want to reinforce it or not. Okay, so let me make sure mine's straight this time instead of crooked. Okay. Much better. Okay. So, much better. There's a little off there at the bottom, but I'm not too bad. Okay. So, here's the part where it says he's going to take a walk. We want that on front, so that means this has to fold in, right? Okay. So make sure that, okay. So I'm going to take my scissors. Again, I want to fold this all the way over where it's even again to get that fold line in my washi, because that's where your crease is going to be, where it's going to be in your spine. And I'm even going to burnish it some so it really holds its memory of where that's at. Then I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take my scissors, and I sort of like to hold mine this way because it's easier. And I'm going to cut along that fold up to this line. Go all the way up to the line. And you can like sort of hold it and okay. Now I'm going to hold it back down like this. Now I see where my washi is. I'm going to cut halfway in my washi. I'm going to just cut a small line of it out. I'll leave a small line of that washi on there for the edge. So I'm just going to very carefully cut that all the way up to the line again. If you cut it in the middle first, it does make it easier than to try to do this. Then I'm going to come right in the middle, right where the line is. And come across. Being careful not to cut too far. And if you have a little bit of your washi, that you can trim that right off. Okay. So we have that. Okay. Again, I'm going to fold it down. You're going to have, and you can tell where mine was a little off because my washi was crooked, but you're not going to notice it when it's on spine. Or you know, can cut it if it bothers you. That's totally up to you. You can actually trim it up if you want. If it makes you feel better. There. Okay, so you're going to have, it's going to look like this. Pull this down. Okay. I'm going to fold mine to the inside because I want my walk on the outside. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to burnish it. I'm going to put this in here. So wherever I put it in here, it doesn't really matter where it fits in my spine. Then I'm going to have a flip up. I can cover this whole side that's upside down with coffee dyed paper, so I have a lot of journaling spot. Flip this over, and I'll put an image over here to cover this where it's upside down. So I have that extra journaling spot hidden in there. So there's that. Then, let's see. What have we not put in here yet? Okay, we've got the envelope. Oh. We've got this, and we've already got, if you watch the first one, I did the dandelion video, and we'd already used it. So I actually already have it, and we're going to decorate that. It has the pretty dandelion on the back. That goes in there, and that is done. So that's the second signature. So let me check the time. Well, we'll get the third one done. If I can figure out where I put it. Oh, here it is. Got too much stuff on my desk. Okay. Okay. So here we go. We got this. Let's just fold out where the line's at. That's easy to do. Again, we know we want our envelope in the middle. We can go ahead and close it so it's sitting there nice and tidy waiting for us. So we've got that done. Let's do this. We need to ink up the outside edges. I sort of cut this one crooked, so again, I'm just going to cut away the edge on it. You know, if you don't want that and you want it straight, you don't like, you know, the random waviness, that's up to you. I sort of like it, especially with the nature. It sort of goes with the flow of things. I'm going to ink it up. Both folds all the way around the edge. That side. Flip it inside out. And we'll come back and add color to these, so these won't be just black and white. So, and actually let's fold this way. So we're going to put that in there. That is that page. Let's see what we're back to. Let's do our dictionary page, and we are doing wonderful. Wonderful's down here. So let's go up to where wonder is at. You know what? Yeah, we can do that way. And I'm just going to keep it square since we've been sort of roughing up all the edges, and I'm just going to fold this one in half and decorate it. Nothing fancy with this one. And again, these are just our extra pages we're inserting. We will still be going through with our embellishments, adding them and all that stuff. And probably when I get ready to do this one, I will put maybe some lined paper on the inside, you know, notebook paper or something like that, to just sort of give you another journaling spot. Okay, let's do Wonder and Wonderful outside. That one is done. Then just sort of plant that. We have this, and I want to make it just a little bit smaller than the page. Sort of do torn edges on all sides. Just sort of give it a little bit of a different look. And with this going in the way that it is, we can literally just keep it as a writing spot. Maybe put a die cut on it, or maybe, you know, collage a corner, put some words on it, that type of thing. Just pretty basic. And again, dark up, not gonna super, although I'm gonna make sure I get these torn edges really well, because it's gonna really make it pop if it has that darker edges. I'll fold it open, ink it again. You know, there's just different ways that you can use the base pages even that you put in. I know a lot of times we worry about ephemera and you'll see a lot of base pages, you just sort of turn it and nothing's done to it, or, you know, so we'll do some other additions to these, but we wanted to get the base down. So again, you know, and maybe we'll do that up towards the top. You know, we'll arrange where it's going to be before we get in there. Okay, let's see. Oh, this had the trees on it. And I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I'm going to come over and just fold a little bit. And again, that's, you know, the same, almost the same length as the page. So I'm going to sort of proceed to try to do this sort of in the shape of a tree. So I'm just sort of gonna round the top. Okay, then I'm going to come over here, and since this page was sort of weird, I'm just sort of make it its own little tree within itself here. So this one's going to have to come in a little further to the inside, but it's not the page that we're working on. So this one's going to be a smaller version of the other one. So we sort of have a tree. It's sort of lopsided because this was a smaller page, but I wanted to make sure I got that trees in there, and so we'll focus on that. We can go ahead and ink it up, and then we will do something with it. When we get there. You're just going to get your hands all inky trying to do this one because it's small, and so I'm just sort of doing the whole entire root system here because it's sort of hard to reach it. And we're going to come back in and do something with that, so it's not going to be just solid white. And again, this is the piece of French book paper that had the conversion of the word trees on it. I love old trees. There are some very old ones in my garden. So, and again, that will sit right in there and get sewn in there. So you have this outline of a tree there. We'll put that in there, and then we have this small page, and that worked out because this is about black locust trees and tulip trees, and this one is again one I'm just going to fold in half, and we're going to ink up. one's not too crazy cut, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. It's sort of wibbly wobbly, but it's not horrid. And again, I'm going to flip it open. And so we'll add it on here. And then we'll have that tree page as the next page, so it'll sort of have a nice flow. And then I'll put a nice pop of color there too. So, have a nice pop of color. Got our cute little tree. Got our notebook paper. Thesaurus page. Our gorgeous Purnell's Nature page. And our envelope. So there you go. That is signature number 3. We have all our extra pages in. The next step will be embellishing. So I will let you guys go for today. Thank you for, taking your time to watch me today. I hope you learned something. If not, I hope you just enjoyed the relaxation time of watching. Have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And we will be back tomorrow. Thanks.